Hello and welcome to Pearl Magazine. Many elderly people, and that will be you and me, James, in a few years, feel too tired to go out, even for new clothes. And fixing household items, even changing a bulb, can be challenging.
Well, luckily, there's a group of volunteers who go out of their way to visit the elderly who live alone and give them a much-needed helping hand.
"58-year-old Ophelia Kung and her colleague Tammy Chan are on their way to visit an old lady who lives alone in Tai Kok Tsui.
早晨，婆婆，係啊，我係姜太啊，婆婆。你慢慢坐低先啦。
Ophelia runs a garment workshop, and Tammy is a seamstress. They're here to help Grandma Cheng find a couple outfits for the summer. The 80-year-old has been living alone since her husband passed away more than a decade ago. She suffers from chronic physical pain from joint degeneration. It means she's gradually dropped out of shape due to a lack of physical exercise. She's buying herself some new clothes that will fit her.
Many of the clothes I bought in the market, I can't button up or zip up because I'm fat. I know customizing costs a lot. I can't afford it if it's too expensive.
Cheng got to know Ophelia from a TV program and managed to reach out to her with the help of a social worker. They are taking Cheng's measurements today.
We need to make sure the clothes fit her. I need to understand her better, for instance, her sleeve preference. She likes a split lower hem, round collar, and elastic waistband. She wants 2 pockets to put things like keys and napkins.
Ophelia and her colleagues start to work on it as soon as they return to the workshop. Then they have a brief meeting to discuss the pattern and functions.
That old lady, and she has very specific choice of fabrics that the fabric she had kept for many years, and she really want to use it for this batch of garments, and we would like to satisfy her preference as much as we can. We can see the fabrics might have some color fading problems, or the quality might turn bad throughout the years, so we might need to pay more attention on how to utilize the fabrics.
She asked for some short pants and t-shirts, so I think I will make at least 5 or 6 sets. It might take longer than 1 month. And she told us it has been a bit hard for her to raise up her arms, so we will take it into consideration when designing to make it easy to put on.
Ophelia has been helping many elderly living alone. She and her team joined a program started by an NGO in 2018. The program aims to donate 1,000 coats for solitary seniors.
The buttons of this coat are very big, so they're easier for an elderly person's fingers to feel, easier to reach. The 2 pockets are especially large for keys and a phone. Social workers told me they always forget to carry keys while taking the trash out. Then the door shuts and they're locked out, needing to call a locksmith. And the most special design is in the back, because they feel cold on the shoulder. We're adding 50% more cotton in the upper back.
She's completed around 500 coats and donated them to the elderly. The NGO says the donation was part of their Warm Giving project in the winter.
Warm Giving project aims to offer warm giving items, such as cotton jackets for the elderly who in need. We raised donations from the community, and all these items will be delivered directly to the elders' home by our service volunteer. Last winter, we served over 400 cases for this program.
It is part of their service designed for the elderly with financial difficulties to help them maintain household safety, such as fixing electrical appliances. With the summer here, the team shifts its focus accordingly. Project Officer Ling Tse-ching, together with volunteer repairman Ching Nai-hung, are visiting a 96-year-old lady to help her with her appliances.
Madam Jue told us that her electrical fan was overheat. After turning on around 2 hours, she worried that it may be malfunctioned. Therefore, our service provides her a brand new electrical fan.
Che King has been living alone for 20 years in Shaoquan. She says she's really grateful.
I'm old now. I don't know how much time I have left to use the fan. I don't want to waste money on a new one. But they said it is broken. Let's replace it. They served with a true heart and not just the words, I know so.
They also installed an electronic sensor light for her safety in the dark and then checked the doorbell. As a one-stop service providing home maintenance and free electric appliances, the Home Safety Project has been running for 29 years. Ling says they need more volunteers with different expertise. Meanwhile, financial issues have arisen recently.
Our donations are greatly affected by the COVID-19. The decrease of the incomes would fail to support our daily operations, such as material fee.
Ophelia says finance is also something she needs to deal with in order to be really helpful to seniors. She's trying to figure it out in a way she calls pairing.
I'm not running a social enterprise or an NGO. I usually look for donors. The whole thing is the donors would buy clothes for the elderly. I'm just a distributor.
She managed to get a $1,000 donation to pay for Granny Cheng's new clothes. She told Cheng this good news on her second visit with one finished outfit.
I hope those in need and those who can help and people making clothes like us can all connect. It couldn't be better.
As Cheng tries on the new clothes, a few alterations are needed.
We need to alter both. The top is a bit long. I marked the length with pins for reference, and she feels the trousers a bit baggy. I will take it in a little bit.
I like it. There's a little blue collar on top, which matches the pure blue of the pants. So I like it. Meanwhile, there's a split in the sleeve. It leaves space for my arms.
According to the Census and Statistics Department, in the year 2016, there were more than 1.16 million old people in Hong Kong, among which more than 150,000 are living alone. That's roughly 13%, or 1 in 8 old folks living by themselves. Social worker Carrie Chan says about 28,000 out of the 1.16 million are ethnic minorities. However, there are no official numbers of solitary ethnic elderly recorded.
In most of the research or the statistics in Hong Kong are focused on the Chinese population. We don't have a number about the ethnic minority elderly in Hong Kong. I'm looking forward that the government can do more to collect some more data.
Carrie has devoted herself to serving ethnic minorities for 16 years. In 2016, she launched a project providing mutual support groups and outreach services to help them integrate into the society for the elderly in Sham Shui Po, Yau Chim Mong, and Kowloon City districts. She found that among the 470 users, 90% were living alone. But she says she can only cover a very small number. The group needs help from more elderly service providers.
Aging affects the people not because of your race. Ethnic minority elderly, they also encounter common aging problems as all elderlies, like the physical deterioration, cognitive deterioration, and chronic illness, everything, okay? But one problem is they have a very big problem in language, in cultural difference, and which makes them very difficult to access the information as well as access the service to support them.
Carrie says the lack of effective communication between the service providers and different ethnic groups is another problem.
If they can't communicate, how can they get You know those servers?
Ophelia and Ling agree that limited promotion and accessibility have resulted in a gap in services for the ethnic elderly.
I will never say I make clothes for any certain race. I have limited promotion, but I will take orders from any elderly calling for tailor making, regardless of ethnicity. The sole criterion is that I make clothes for elderly in urgent need, those who find it hard to buy clothes for themselves.
We have provided service for the South Asian, Filipinos, and Indians, but not many at the moment. Normally, the social worker in Hong Kong will refer the cases to our service. The ethnic elderly groups may have less chance to reach them.
Carrie suggests that services for the elderly should be more culturally sensitive and integrated.
When we're talking about ethnic minority elderly, we're not talking about one ethnicity, one race. They are coming from different backgrounds. We have to listen more to the elderly's opinions. Maybe we can start up some kind of pilot projects to work for the ethnic minority elderly to see which model of service delivery will be better to effectively serve them.
It's truly heartening when you know help is always there.
And speaking of help, these days it's getting harder to find. After the break, domestic helpers and their employers are facing unprecedented challenges. Stay with us. Welcome back. By law, foreign domestic helpers are required to live with their employers in Hong Kong. Days off are often spent with friends in public spaces, but since the pandemic began, their right to a day spent beyond the confines of their workplace is being challenged.
Employers are having a hard time as well. The global travel ban is making it difficult to hire a maid from overseas. Many complain the shortage of helpers is giving workers in the market better bargaining power, and they're asking for a higher salary. The domestic helper who has been working for Mrs. Poon retired earlier this year. Mrs. Poon is hiring a new helper. But before the new hire arrives, she has to do all the housework herself.
How do I feel? Busy. Nothing else other than that. Every minute, every second, you have things to do. From the moment you wake up in the morning until you go to bed.
Mr. and Mrs. Poon are both working parents. Their helper used to take care of them and their kids. Luckily, Mrs. Poon can work from home now. Otherwise, she might need to quit her job to take care of the family.
I can't concentrate on work. The efficiency is not ideal. The kids interrupt me all the time. Sometimes one would ask for snacks and then the other one wants to go to the toilet. I have to use their sleeping time and mine on work to be efficient.
Mrs. Poon hasn't done household chores for over 10 years, so it isn't easy to pick things up again. She spends more than half an hour figuring out how to operate the washing machine.
I'm going to randomly choose a wash mode. No one is helping me. I'm on my own.
Hong Kong has some 400,000 domestic helpers, which is about 10% of the overall workforce. Most of them are from the Philippines and Indonesia. But these countries have imposed travel bans since the coronavirus pandemic broke out in early February.
Hello, Chris. Hello.
Yes, you can still hire someone from overseas at the moment. Just that you need to spend a little bit longer time to wait for the processing, because the Philippines or Indonesia now, the city is locked down. Their office is closed at the moment.
Under the COVID-19 lockdown, many of the newly hired maids could not travel the distance and report for duty. Many employers desperate to have a helper must look for those who have just finished their contract in Hong Kong and want to continue to work here. Most of them are experienced workers.
If the helper has been working in Hong Kong for more than 10 years, she knows how to go to wet market, she knows how to cook Chinese food, she knows how to use octopus card, everything. You don't need to provide on-job training. So that's why the experienced helper, they always ask for a higher salary.
According to the law, the minimum monthly salary for a foreign domestic helper working in Hong Kong is $4,630. But Chris says these days that is not enough to hire an experienced maid.
We have seen a high range between like 8,000 to 10,000. Yeah, that's what they're asking for us, monthly salaries for experienced helper.
Can you cook Chinese food?
Yes, Mom, I can, and the basic cook.
There's a shortage of the helper supply now. So all the employers are looking for helpers in Hong Kong locally. That situation put the helpers in a very high position. They think they can have a better choice. They can have a stronger bargaining power. They don't want to take care of a big family with a big house with basic salary.
Mrs. Poon has been looking for over 6 months, but still no one is interested.
More than 1,000 square feet apartment with outdoors terrace, and also need to take care of 1 big dog, 3 kids, especially 2 of them are still very young. So you can imagine that it's going to be so much work if they can choose like more than 1 job. Why would they choose the hardest one?
Some employers still manage to hire a helper from overseas, but there is one major challenge to overcome: the 14-day quarantine. Gordon's helper just finished her contract and is moving back home. He spent more than 4 months to hire a new helper from overseas. At present, employers are expected to house the helper for the quarantine or put them up in a hotel. Gordon has a big family with kids and grandparents. He doesn't want them to stay under the same roof with their maid during the quarantine period.
Hotel roughly charges around $100 to $300 per day, but there are some very expensive cases, like the one next to my apartment. They're asking for $6,000 for 14 days. It's way too expensive.
During the 14-day quarantine period, Gordon must serve his new employee because he is responsible for food for his helper.
I'll save part of our lunch for her. We have scrambled eggs with tomato, fish, and some vegetables. This is going to be her dinner.
It takes Gordon around half an hour to walk from his place to the hotel.
I think it's funny because she is supposed to take care of me, but our roles have reversed. I'm taking care of her. But I choose to think of it positively. Otherwise, it would make my life miserable.
Del and Jack are from the Philippines. They have been working in Hong Kong as domestic helpers for several years. Since the coronavirus outbreak, they have mostly been staying at home on their days off.
My sir and my mom allowed me to invite some close friends so we can cook there, stay at home, or sometimes we are just singing.
All helpers here are entitled to 1 rest day per week, and that is the only time they can manage personal matters. Many of them would like to spend their day off outside. Jack's employer is very appreciative that she can stay at home to keep the family safe.
They are already 24 hours in a working mode. They really need some time to have a relaxed or to have their own personal time. When they have their holiday time, the first step is we never to disturb them. Just let them alone. 2 of my jeje, the helpers, they like singing so much, and then I have buy the karaoke for them, and then so they can play anytime.
In Hong Kong, foreign domestic helpers are required to live with their employers by law. Days off are often spent with friends in public spaces. But on January 30 this year, the government appealed to the city's helpers, urging them to stay home to contain the spread of the virus.
Me, my friend also, they always talking, when we can go out. My one friend told me, my boss did not allow me to go out like that because very dangerous. And then I answer, yes, also. My employer also told me like that, be careful, no need to go out first.
It's not an easy decision for them to make.
Work in abroad or very far at your family, it's so hard for the domestic helper. They call homesick every week, have holiday. It's, I think, very important to every helper.
When the virus outbreak reached Hong Kong, hygiene products were in short supply. Not every employer can provide enough masks or hand sanitizers for their helpers.
The mask is running out, the bleach is running out. At that time, we cannot find the products somewhere else, because all the stocks is running out.
Jack helped her out.
I find the things like masks and alcohol in the Philippine shop. They're in Yulong. All things there are from Philippines.
My helpers tell me that, we can find a place to can purchase that. They bought some back home, and then I said, I really appreciate that. They saved me. Why? Hello.
Because of the language barrier, many helpers rely on social media or news from their home countries to get information. At the beginning of the epidemic, Baby says many helpers didn't know enough about the virus. She quickly set up a social media page to share the local news about the virus, which was translated into different languages to let the helpers know more. They even made some leaflets based on that information and distributed to the workers on weekends.
We need to respect, and then also we need to communicate. This is the most important things that we need to do, because they leave their home and come to our families to help. They need great support for that. They really help a lot. They are not only my helpers, I treat them just like my family members.
Next week, amid the pandemic, more people than ever are going online, and more of them are seeking medical services.
And a nanny for Granny, a look at those taking care of elderly people.
Thanks for watching.
Bye for now.